Gentlemen, let me ask you something real. Have you noticed your energy slipping away like a battery that just doesn't hold its charge anymore? Nights interrupted by bathroom trips, mornings that feel heavier than they used to, and that spark in your personal life? Well, maybe it's not burning quite as bright. For decades, we were all told the same story. Eat your vegetables. They're the secret to long-lasting health. But here's the uncomfortable twist. What if a few of those very foods, the ones you thought were protecting you, are actually sabotaging your testosterone and making the problems of aging worse? This isn't about fear-mongering or trendy diet fads. It's about looking at science, real men's stories, and simple cooking choices that could either drain your vitality or help you reclaim it. Before we dive into the specifics, let's shift the way we think. Instead of memorizing lists of good or bad vegetables, I want you to picture this journey like a detective story. We'll uncover 3 common culprits on the dinner plate, each with its own hidden trap. Then we'll reveal the healthier swaps that not only avoid harm, but actively support testosterone, circulation, and prostate health. Think of it like learning how to play defense and offense with your food, avoiding the silent saboteurs while embracing the powerful allies that help your body thrive after 60. Here's how we'll break it down so you can follow the story with ease. First, the comfort food trap. A vegetable you've probably had thousands of times, but when eaten the wrong way, it pushes your blood sugar and hormones off balance. Next, the purple deceiver, a food praised for its antioxidants, but hiding a compound that quietly chips away at your circulation. And finally, the green imposter, a vegetable that, when unripe or fried, does the opposite of what your heart and prostate need. But don't worry, this isn't just about taking things away. Alongside each danger, you'll hear inspiring real-life stories and discover tasty alternatives that can recharge your body, restore your confidence, and maybe even surprise your doctor with better lab results. So grab your seat at the table. This isn't another lecture about what you should or shouldn't eat. It's a conversation about small, powerful changes, simple tweaks in preparation, smart swaps in your grocery cart that could mean waking up with more energy, sleeping more peacefully, and enjoying life with the vigor you thought was long gone. Let's begin by uncovering the first hidden culprit on your plate. Part 1. The comfort food trap, white potatoes. The familiar friend on your plate. Let's start with something we all know too well, the humble white potato. For many of us, potatoes are more than food, they're memories. They remind us of family dinners where mashed potatoes sat proudly next to roasted chicken. They remind us of road trips, when a quick stop at a diner meant a plate piled high with fries. They're part of our comfort zone, a symbol of warmth and tradition. But here's the twist. After 60, that comforting plate may not be comforting your body at all. It may be draining your energy, stressing your prostate, and quietly lowering your testosterone. The science behind the problem. Why does this happen? The answer lies in something called the glycemic index, a way of measuring how fast a food turns into sugar in your bloodstream. White potatoes sit dangerously high on that scale, especially when they're fried, mashed, or baked without fiber or protein to balance them out. Here's the chain reaction. 1. Fast starch to fast sugar. Your body breaks down potato starch into glucose almost instantly. 2. Blood sugar surge to insulin flood. In response, your pancreas floods your system with insulin. 3. Chronic high insulin to hormonal disruption. Over time, consistently high insulin suppresses a master hormone called GnRH, gonadotropin-releasing hormone. Without enough GnRH, your body makes less testosterone. 4. Low testosterone to fatigue, muscle loss, and declining vitality.
That's why even though you're eating familiar comfort foods, you may feel more exhausted, weaker, and less confident. And there's more. Constant blood sugar spikes produce oxidative stress, which forms advanced glycation end products, AGEs, molecules that literally stiffen your arteries. When your arteries harden, circulation weakens. That means less blood flow to your muscles. And yes, also to the areas of your body you'd like to keep strong and responsive. Paul's story, the engineer who found his energy again. To make this real, let's talk about Paul. Paul was a 62-year-old retired engineer. Practical, detail-oriented, the kind of guy who fixed his own leaky faucets and balanced his checkbook to the last cent. He came into the clinic complaining of fatigue, unpredictable blood pressure, and those nightly bathroom trips that interrupt precious sleep. At first, nothing seemed unusual. After all, most men in their 60s share the same list of complaints. But then we looked closely at Paul's daily diet. The common thread? Potatoes. Mashed at dinner, fries at lunch, baked at Sunday cookouts. He didn't even consider them unhealthy. They were just food. But the more he ate, the more his body struggled. His insulin was constantly elevated. His inflammation markers, like CRP, were sky high, and his prostate was under stress. Here's the turning point. Paul made a small shift. Instead of white potatoes, he swapped in carrots, turnips, and other root vegetables with a lower glycemic load. He also experimented with beans and lentils for fiber-rich comfort. The results? Nothing short of dramatic. Within 2 months, his insulin returned to a healthy range. His CRP, an inflammation marker, dropped by 25%. Nocturia, those nightly bathroom interruptions, calmed down, letting him finally sleep through the night. And the most surprising of all, his morning testosterone readings jumped 18%. Paul told me, "I feel like I've been given back 10 years of my life, all from dropping one innocent-looking vegetable from his daily menu." The bigger lesson. Does this mean potatoes are evil and should never touch your plate again? Not exactly. The key is understanding how much and how they're prepared. Fried or mashed white potatoes, high glycemic, testosterone draining. Boiled and cooled potatoes, they form resistant starch, which digests more slowly and has less impact on blood sugar. Small, occasional servings balanced with protein and fiber, less risky. The truth is, it's not the potato itself that ruins health, it's the way we prepare and consume it. Like many things in life, the poison is in the dose. So, what does this teach us? Even foods we've trusted for decades can carry hidden costs as we age. It's not just about what we eat, it's about how it affects our body after 60. Now that we've uncovered the truth about the comfort food trap, let's turn the page and meet the second hidden saboteur, a vegetable that wears the disguise of a purple health hero, but secretly carries a sting that older men need to watch out for.
Part 2. The Purple Deceiver. Eggplant. First impressions. The healthy superstar. At first glance, eggplant looks like a nutritional champion. Deep purple skin, a staple in Mediterranean diets, loaded with fiber and praised for its antioxidant pigment, niacin. It's one of those vegetables that appears in top 10 heart-healthy foods lists, and for good reason. It does carry benefits. But here's the catch. For men over 60, eggplant may come with an uninvited hitchhiker, solanine, a naturally occurring compound concentrated in its seeds and peel. And in sensitive bodies, solanine can stir up trouble. The hidden mechanism. What does solanine do? On paper, it sounds harmless, but in practice, it can cause 1. Low-grade inflammation. Solanine can irritate the digestive system, leading to subtle but chronic inflammation that older bodies are less equipped to handle. 2. Inflammatory markers rise. It's linked to elevated IL-6 and TNF-alpha, 2 well-known markers that predict vascular stiffness and poor circulation. 3.
compromised endothelial function. This is science speak for blood vessels lose their flexibility. And as you already know, stiffened vessels mean poorer blood flow to the muscles, the heart, and to areas crucial for intimacy. So while eggplant seems to be the purple knight in shining armor, for older men, it can become the purple deceiver. Frank's story, the ratatouille routine. Frank, a 65-year-old retiree, thought he was doing everything right. He loved cooking, and after reading about the antioxidant powers of eggplant, he started incorporating it into his diet daily. His favorite? A hearty, homemade ratatouille with eggplant as the star. At first, it seemed like a smart move, but within months, small but worrisome issues began to creep in. His nightly leg cramps grew sharper, his digestion felt off. Most concerning, the strength of his nocturnal erections, already a sensitive subject, began to fade. Frank was baffled. He thought he was fueling his health with this Mediterranean staple, not sabotaging it. When he learned about solanine's inflammatory impact, everything clicked. With guidance, Frank reduced eggplant to just twice a week and made one simple tweak: peeling it. Since solanine is concentrated in the skin and seeds, this cut his exposure dramatically. The results were eye-opening. His bowel discomfort dropped by 30%. His inflammatory markers improved, signaling relief at a cellular level. Most importantly, his nocturnal erections, once fading, began to return with noticeable strength. Frank admitted, "I didn't think something as simple as peeling a vegetable could make such a difference." But it did. Eggplant hiding in plain sight. Here's what most men don't realize. Eggplant isn't only found in fresh produce sections. It sneaks into condiments, frozen entrees, plant-based burgers, and processed Mediterranean-style meals. Sometimes it's listed as aubergine or aubergine in ingredient lists. For men already sensitive to solanine, these hidden sources can fuel inflammation without them even realizing it. Practical takeaway. So, should you banish eggplant forever? Not necessarily, but moderation is key and preparation matters. Limit intake, once or twice a week, not daily. Peel and deseed. Most solanine is in the skin and seeds. Balance with variety. Don't rely on eggplant as your main fiber or antioxidant source. Rotate other vegetables like zucchini, bell peppers, or leafy greens. In other words, keep eggplant as an occasional guest, not a permanent resident in your diet. So far, we've uncovered two surprising truths: the comfort food potato trap and the purple deceiver hiding in plain sight. But there's one more vegetable to reveal, a sneaky green imposter that looks wholesome in your garden or farmer's market basket, but when eaten at the wrong stage or cooked the wrong way, can spark inflammation in your arteries and prostate. Next, we'll meet this unexpected culprit, and you might be shocked to see what it's been doing to your heart and circulation all along.
Part 3. The green imposter. Tomatoes gone wrong. Tomatoes, friend or foe? If I asked you to name one of the healthiest, most heart-friendly vegetables, or technically, fruits, most people would say tomatoes. They're bright, refreshing, packed with antioxidants like lycopene, and the star of everything from summer salads to homemade sauces. But here's where things get complicated. While ripe, sun-kissed tomatoes deserve their reputation as nutritional heroes, their green, unripe cousins hide a very different story. And when you take those green tomatoes, coat them in flour, and drop them into sizzling oil, you've just created a recipe for inflammation that your body, especially after 60, may not forgive so easily. The hidden compound, tomatine. Green tomatoes contain tomatine, a naturally occurring alkaloid. In tiny amounts, it's not much of a problem. But in larger quantities, especially when eaten regularly, tomatine irritates the lining of your blood vessels. That irritation sparks inflammation. Now, if you're a man over 60, your circulation is already under pressure from natural aging, add in tomatine, and you're accelerating vascular stiffness. And let's not forget the prostate. Increased inflammation in prostate tissue worsens urinary problems, making conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, feel even more uncomfortable. When you fry green tomatoes, things get even worse. The oil magnifies tomatine's negative effects while also layering in unhealthy fats. It's a double strike against your arteries, circulation, and prostate. David's story: the weekend treat with a hidden cost. Meet David, a 68-year-old who enjoyed a simple ritual. Every weekend, he fried up a batch of green tomato fritters. He believed he was indulging in a Southern classic that carried the benefits of tomatoes just in a different form. But after a few months, David noticed his health slipping. His chest pains, what his doctor later identified as angina, grew sharper and more frequent. His urinary flow slowed, forcing him to spend more time in the bathroom and less time enjoying life. He couldn't see the connection. After all, they're just tomatoes, right? But once he swapped his fried green fritters for raw, sun-ripened tomato slices, the change was remarkable. His angina episodes became less frequent. His urinary flow improved, easing the pressure on his prostate. His energy and confidence began to return. David's story highlights a critical truth. The same vegetable can heal or harm depending on its ripeness and preparation. Practical solutions. So, what's the takeaway here? Tomatoes aren't the villain. In fact, when prepared right, they're one of your strongest allies. Choose ripe red tomatoes. That's when lycopene, the antioxidant superstar, is at its peak. Go raw or lightly cooked. Lycopene is heat sensitive, so avoid high heat frying. Fresh salads, light stews, or sun-dried tomatoes can maximize benefits. Avoid frying green tomatoes. The oil amplifies tomatine's inflammatory punch. When eaten ripe and raw, tomatoes protect your heart, improve blood flow, and provide anti-inflammatory power. When eaten green and fried, they sneak toxins into your system. Now we've revealed all three saboteurs: the comfort food trap of white potatoes, the purple deceiver hiding in eggplant, and the green imposter masquerading as healthy tomatoes when unripe or fried. But don't worry, we're not ending with a list of don'ts. Next, we'll flip the script and celebrate the vegetables that do support testosterone, protect your heart, calm your prostate, and bring back the energy and spark you thought was gone for good. Because the truth is, after 60, it's not just about avoiding harm. It's about learning which foods act like secret allies, helping you reclaim strength, vitality, and joy. Part 4. The Hero Swaps: Foods that support testosterone and vitality. From avoid to embrace. Up to now, we've uncovered the three dietary saboteurs: white potatoes, eggplant, and green fried tomatoes. But let's be clear, this journey isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's not enough to just avoid harm. The real secret is finding foods that actively support your testosterone, protect your circulation, and calm your prostate. Think of this as moving from playing defense to finally stepping into offense. So let's meet the heroes: simple, colorful vegetables that can help men over 60 regain strength, confidence, and zest for life. Hero number 1: sweet potatoes, the golden powerhouse. Sweet potatoes aren't just a delicious Thanksgiving side, they're a nutritional ally for men as they age. Their bright orange flesh comes loaded with beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant that shields testosterone-producing Leydig cells from oxidative stress. Here's the critical detail. When those Leydig cells are stressed, testosterone dips. When they're protected, testosterone stays stronger. But that's not all.
Sweet potatoes, when cooled after cooking, form resistant starch, a prebiotic fiber that feeds healthy gut bacteria. A balanced gut reduces systemic inflammation, which in turn supports hormone stability. Preparation tip: bake sweet potatoes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, for about 45 minutes. Let them cool, then reheat before serving. This bake, cool, reheat method locks in resistant starch and preserves beta-carotene. Story: Lionel's renewal, 63 years old. Lionel had been microwaving sweet potatoes for speed. He felt bloated, tired, and sluggish. After switching to the proper bake, cool, reheat method, everything changed. His bloating disappeared, his energy soared, and lab tests showed a 12% increase in testosterone in just weeks. For Lionel, this wasn't just food, it was fuel for life. Hero number 2: cauliflower, the steamed secret weapon. Cauliflower might look plain, but hidden within it is sulforaphane, a compound that activates when the vegetable is lightly steamed. Sulforaphane reduces inflammation, supports detoxification, and helps regulate testosterone levels. The common mistake: many men eat cauliflower raw, thinking raw is best, but raw cauliflower keeps sulforaphane locked away. A gentle steam, just a few minutes, is what unleashes its full benefits. Story: Harold's breakthrough, 67 years old. Harold ate raw cauliflower nightly, but still struggled with low libido and rising PSA levels. Once he began steaming it lightly, things turned around. His libido lifted, his PSA dropped, and his overall energy improved. Key lesson: preparation matters. The difference between raw and lightly steamed cauliflower can literally be the difference between frustration and renewed vitality. Hero number 3: boron, the mineral most men miss. Beyond vegetables, there's one tiny but mighty mineral that plays a crucial role: boron. Boron helps free testosterone bound to proteins in the blood, making it more available for your body to use. Without enough boron, much of your testosterone stays locked away. Where to find it? Avocados, nuts, prunes, and certain leafy greens. Even small daily amounts can make a noticeable difference in energy, strength, and sexual health. A note on tomatoes, the good kind. Let's not leave tomatoes on the villain list. Ripe, red tomatoes are a hero in disguise when consumed the right way. They're packed with lycopene, a heart-protective antioxidant. A fresh tomato salad or a lightly simmered sauce offers anti-inflammatory power that supports circulation and hormone balance. So far, we've exposed the traps and celebrated the heroes, but food isn't just biology, it's emotional. Meals connect us to family, culture, and comfort. The real challenge isn't just knowing what to eat, it's building habits that stick, that feel joyful, and that empower you daily. That's where we're headed next. How to bring this knowledge into your kitchen and your life so that every bite moves you closer to vitality instead of away from it.
Part 5: Practical Everyday Integration, from clinic to kitchen table. It's one thing to know which foods hurt or help you, it's another to put that knowledge on your plate every single day. The truth is, most men over 60 aren't looking for a complicated diet overhaul. They don't want calorie-counting abs or chef-level recipes. What they want is simple, tasty meals that feel familiar, that bring comfort, and that quietly work behind the scenes to support their testosterone and vitality. So let's make this practical. Let's take the swaps we've discussed and see how they fit into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even those sneaky snack moments. Morning boosts, breakfast that sets the tone. Swap the hash browns. Instead of fried white potatoes, try roasted cubes of sweet potato, cooled and reheated to preserve resistant starch. Drizzle with olive oil and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Add power greens. Lightly steamed cauliflower blended into a veggie omelet gives bulk and nutrients without weighing you down. Fruit add-on. A handful of prunes or an avocado slice delivers a dose of boron, that underappreciated mineral that frees testosterone. Imagine this plate: golden sweet potato cubes with a crispy edge, an omelet speckled with cauliflower and bell peppers, and half an avocado on the side. That's not a diet, that's breakfast fit for vitality. Midday sustenance, lunch that protects. Lunch is where many men fall into the comfort trap: burgers, fries, or heavy sandwiches. But with a little tweak, lunch can be energizing, not draining. Skip the fries. Instead of white potato fries, bake sweet potato wedges in the oven. Cool them and reheat briefly. They satisfy the craving without spiking insulin. Salad hero. A mixed salad with ripe red tomatoes, cucumbers, and leafy greens drizzled in olive oil and lemon. Keep it simple, but make sure the tomatoes are ripe, not green. Protein partner. Add grilled salmon, chicken, or lentils for balance. Picture this: a colorful plate, not beige and greasy, one that gives you energy to keep going instead of begging you for a nap. Evening ritual. Dinner that rebuilds. Dinner is where routines and mistakes tend to happen. Too much starch, too late, and sleep suffers. Let's redesign it. Root veggie base. Turnips, carrots, or parsnips instead of mashed potatoes. They're sweet, earthy, and lower on the glycemic scale. Occasional eggplant. If you love eggplant, have it once a week. Peel it, roast it lightly with olive oil, and pair it with other veggies. Don't make it the star, just a side. Tomato upgrade. A homemade sauce with ripe, sun-ripened tomatoes simmered gently can protect your heart and prostate. Now imagine this dinner: a warm plate of baked salmon with a side of roasted turnips and carrots, a small dish of peeled roasted eggplant drizzled with tahini, and a spoonful of homemade tomato sauce with garlic and herbs. Comforting, but strategic. Snacks and small habits. It's not just the big meals, it's the in-between moments. Afternoon hunger? A handful of nuts gives you protein, healthy fats, and boron. Late night cravings? A small serving of Greek yogurt with chopped fruit beats chips or fries and keeps blood sugar steady overnight. Hydration counts. Cut back on soda and alcohol. Swap in water with lemon, green tea, or herbal infusions that reduce inflammation. The power of rituals. The secret to sustaining these swaps isn't willpower, it's ritual. Build small, repeatable patterns. Always keep ripe tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and cauliflower in your kitchen. Prep roasted veggies ahead on Sundays, so the weekday version of you doesn't have to think. Anchor meals to routines. Sweet potatoes at breakfast twice a week, cauliflower in your omelet, ripe tomato salad at lunch. When the choice is easy, it becomes a habit. And when it's a habit, it rewires your health quietly, without stress. So now we've gone from theory to practice. These swaps are no longer diet advice, but part of a daily rhythm. But nothing is more convincing than seeing how these changes transform real men's lives. In the next section, we'll look at real-life case studies and lessons learned. The stories of men just like you who made simple changes and experienced big results. Their journeys will show you what's possible when knowledge meets action. Part 6. The real-life results. Stories of men who once felt drained, disconnected, or defeated, and how their lives shifted when they committed to a simple, nutrient-focused routine. Why results matter. Let's be honest, advice is everywhere. You can find articles, YouTube videos, and even friends recommending dozens of health tricks. But at the end of the day, what really convinces us is not a list of facts, but results. We want to know, does this actually work for someone like me? That's why I want to share more real-life stories. Stories of men who once felt drained, disconnected, or defeated, and how their lives shifted when they committed to a simple, nutrient-focused routine. Peter's engine restarted. We've talked briefly about Peter, the retired gym instructor. His mornings had turned sluggish, his sharpness dulled.
At first, vitamin D gave him a nudge, and B12 gave him a little more spark. But when he finally added vitamin E to the mix, something changed dramatically. He described it like this: "I don't feel like I'm forcing energy anymore. I feel like my body has its own engine again. Smooth, steady, reliable." It wasn't about becoming younger. It was about feeling whole again, able to live his days without constant fatigue. Elijah's emotional comeback. Elijah, the former paramedic, once admitted that the hardest part of his fatigue wasn't physical, it was emotional. He said, "When I was tired all the time, I stopped looking forward to anything. I didn't even care about intimacy, not because I didn't love my wife, but because I had nothing left to give." When his B12 deficiency was corrected, the fog lifted, his energy returned, but more importantly, he started feeling joy again. He looked forward to hobbies, time with his grandkids, and quiet evenings with his wife. His story reminds us, fixing fatigue isn't just about moving more, it's about living more. Andrew's renewal of identity. Andrew, the retired accountant, thought he was doing everything right, and he was. Clean eating, regular activity, discipline. But when he said, "I don't feel like a man anymore," it struck deep. His vitamin E deficiency had quietly muted his hormones in circulation. Once corrected, his energy and sharpness returned. He didn't just get stronger physically, he felt his identity return. That's a powerful reminder that nutrition doesn't just build muscles, it restores confidence, presence, and self-worth. David's connection restored. David, 75, went from struggling to walk 1 block to strolling 3 miles with his wife every evening. What changed? Correcting his vitamin D deficiency. And notice, his story isn't just about walking farther, it's about connection. Holding hands with his wife, sharing evenings together, rediscovering companionship. Sometimes the best result isn't a lab number, it's the smile on someone you love when you can keep up with them again. My reflection, the ripple effect. What I love about these stories is how the benefits ripple outward. You don't just feel more energized, your family feels it. Your spouse notices you're more present. Your grandchildren see you laugh more. Your friends notice your spark return. Energy isn't just for you, it strengthens every relationship around you. That's why restoring vitality after 60 is not selfish, it's a gift to everyone in your life. Transition, results to lessons. So, what can we take from these real-life transformations? The lesson is simple. When you consistently support your body with the right nutrients, results follow. Not in a week, not overnight, but steadily, like a tide lifting a boat. And now that we've seen the real results, the next step is clear. How do you avoid the common pitfalls that keep men from experiencing these benefits? That's where we're headed next.
Part 7. Building a framework for lasting health. Why a framework matters. It's easy to follow health advice for a week or two. You cut the fries, you buy more vegetables, you even steam the cauliflower once or twice. But then life happens. Habits slip, old routines sneak back, and the fridge fills again with quick, familiar foods. That's why men over 60 don't just need tips, they need a framework. A structure that simplifies choices, reinforces good habits, and feels natural enough to sustain for years. Think of it as a scaffolding. Once you build it, it supports you even when life gets busy or motivation dips. Principle 1. Balance, don't ban. The point isn't to demonize foods forever. It's to balance your plate so that even occasional indulgences don't undo progress. If you love potatoes, choose boiled and cooled in small portions, not daily fried fries. If eggplant's your favorite, peel it, limit it, and rotate with other veggies. If you crave fried green tomatoes, enjoy ripe red ones raw or lightly simmered instead. Balance makes health sustainable. Bans make it brittle. Principle 2. Preparation is power. We've seen it with every case study.
How you cook is as important as what you cook. Sweet potatoes, bake, cool, and reheat. Cauliflower, lightly steam, don't eat raw. Tomatoes, ripe and raw, greater than green and fried. Cooking is chemistry. Respect the process, and your food turns into medicine. Principle 3. Rituals over rules. Strict rules often backfire, but rituals, small, repeatable actions tied to your daily rhythm, stick. Examples: always keep a bowl of ripe tomatoes on your counter. Roast a tray of mixed root vegetables every Sunday and use them through the week. Make steaming cauliflower part of your weekly dinner ritual. When a choice becomes a ritual, it stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like identity. Principle 4. Track how you feel, not just what you eat. Too many diets focus on numbers, grams, calories, percentages, but what seniors often need most is awareness of how foods make them feel. After potatoes, do you feel heavy, sluggish, or bloated? After a tomato salad, do you feel light, satisfied, clear-headed? After steaming cauliflower, do you sleep better or wake up fewer times at night? Your body is giving you feedback every day. Pay attention, it's your best lab test. Principle 5. Share the journey. Food is social, and nothing is harder than changing habits alone. But when you bring your spouse, friends, or even grandchildren into the kitchen, swaps stop feeling like sacrifices and start feeling like new traditions. Invite family for a sweet potato bake night. Teach grandkids to steam vegetables and make colorful plates. Swap recipes with a neighbor trying to eat healthier. When food is shared, habits stick. When it's solitary, they fade. The guiding compass. When you boil it down, here's the simple compass to follow. Avoid frequent traps: daily fried potatoes, unpeeled eggplant, green fried tomatoes. Embrace smart swaps: sweet potatoes, cauliflower, ripe tomatoes, boron-rich foods. Cook with purpose. Unlock nutrients through mindful preparation. Anchor with rituals. Make good choices automatic. Listen to your body. Let feedback guide your adjustments. Now, we've built the framework, but here's the question. How do you translate it into actual daily life, day after day, meal after meal? That's where we're headed next. A practical 7-day meal nap that shows you exactly how to put all this into action without feeling deprived. Think of it as a bridge between advice and reality, a template you can adapt to your taste, culture, and lifestyle.
Part 8. The 7-Day Meal Map. Why a meal map works. It's easy to talk about avoid this and eat that, but when you sit down hungry, habits take over. A meal map removes the guesswork. It gives you a template so you can swap foods in and out without losing the balance that protects your testosterone and energy. This isn't a strict diet, it's a flexible guide. Think of it as training wheels until your new food habits feel natural. Day 1. Breakfast. Sweet potato cubes. Bake, cool, reheat. 2 eggs scrambled with steamed cauliflower. Half an avocado, boron boost. Lunch. Salad with ripe tomatoes, cucumbers, and olive oil. Grilled chicken breast. A side of lentils. Dinner. Roasted salmon. Turnips and carrots roasted with herbs. Small serving of peeled, lightly roasted eggplant with tahini. Snack. A handful of almonds plus green tea. Day 2. Breakfast. Greek yogurt with chopped prunes, boron. A sprinkle of flaxseed. Black coffee or green tea. Lunch. Sweet potato wedges, bake, cool, reheat. Turkey burger, no bun, served over greens. Side salad with ripe tomatoes. Dinner. Lightly steamed cauliflower, rice with garlic. Grilled chicken thighs. Steamed spinach with lemon. Snack. Apple slices with almond butter. Day 3. Breakfast. Omelet with bell peppers, onions, and cauliflower.
Side of baked sweet potato rounds. Herbal tea. Lunch. Mediterranean bowl. Quinoa, grilled fish, ripe tomato salad. A drizzle of olive oil. Dinner. Grilled lamb chops. Roasted root vegetables, carrots, parsnips. Small dish of peeled, lightly roasted eggplant with tahini. Snack. A handful of walnuts. Day 4. Breakfast. Smoothie, spinach, ripe tomato, avocado, and unsweetened yogurt. 1 boiled egg. Lunch. Lentil soup with carrots and herbs. Side salad with ripe tomatoes and cucumbers. A slice of whole grain bread. Dinner. Baked chicken with rosemary. Steamed broccoli and cauliflower mix. Roasted sweet potato mash. Bake, cool, reheat method. Snack. Prunes or dried figs. Day 5. Breakfast. Steamed cauliflower, scrambled with eggs. A slice of avocado toast, whole grain. Black coffee. Lunch. Grilled salmon with lemon. Sweet potato wedges. Tomato and cucumber salad. Dinner. Roasted beef with garlic. Steamed broccoli and cauliflower mix. Carrot and turnip puree. Snack. A handful of cashews. Day 6. Breakfast. Greek yogurt parfait with berries and flax seeds. A side of baked sweet potato cubes. Herbal tea. Lunch. Chickpea salad with ripe tomatoes, cucumbers, and olive oil. Grilled chicken strips. Dinner. Roasted trout. Cauliflower mash, lightly steamed. Roasted carrots. Snack. A handful of almonds plus sliced pear. Day 7. Breakfast. Omelette with cauliflower, spinach, and bell peppers. Half an avocado on the side. Black coffee. Lunch. Lentil soup with ripe tomatoes and herbs. Side of roasted sweet potato rounds. Dinner. Grilled lamb or beef kebabs. Roasted turnips and carrots. Fresh tomato salad with olive oil. Snack. A handful of walnuts or prunes. Key observations. Potatoes, absent or replaced. Eggplant, occasional, peeled, and portion controlled. Tomatoes, always ripe and fresh, never green or fried. Sweet potatoes and cauliflower, the backbone of energy, testosterone, and gut support. Boron-rich foods, avocado, nuts, prunes, sprinkled throughout the week. Now you've seen how the swaps fit into a whole week. But here's the truth. Sticking to any plan depends not just on knowledge or even preparation, it depends on motivation. That's where we'll head next. Part 9, The Psychology of Change. How to rewire your habits, overcome cravings, and build a mindset that makes healthy eating a joy instead of a chore.
Part 9, The Psychology of Change. Why mindset matters more than willpower. Here's the truth. Most men don't fail at health because they lack information. They fail because they rely on willpower, and willpower is a battery that runs out. After a long day, after stress, after loneliness, the quick comfort foods always win if your only defense is discipline. The solution isn't more force. The solution is rewiring your psychology so that the healthy choice feels easier, natural, and even enjoyable. Habit loops. How food controls you. Psychologists talk about the habit loop. 1. Cue. You feel stress, boredom, or hunger. 2. Routine. You reach for fries, chips, or something fried. 3. Reward. You get a hit of comfort or pleasure, reinforcing the habit. For decades, potatoes, fried foods, or late-night snacks have been tied to this loop. The key isn't to fight the loop, it's to replace the routine with a healthier one that still delivers the reward. Example. Instead of fried potatoes, roasted sweet potato wedges, seasoned with herbs.
Still crispy, still comforting, but without the testosterone-draining cost. The emotional side of food. Food isn't just fuel, it's memory, culture, family. Mashed potatoes may remind you of Sunday dinners with your parents. Fried green tomatoes may remind you of Southern hospitality. Eggplant may remind you of summer vacations or cultural roots. That's why simply saying, "don't eat this," rarely works. To change successfully, you must replace the memory connection with a new one. Roast sweet potatoes for family gatherings so your children associate that with love and warmth. Serve ripe tomato salads at cookouts so they become the new family tradition. Steam cauliflower and share it proudly so it feels like part of your identity, not a medical chore. When healthy food is tied to family and culture, it sticks. Motivation versus discipline. Discipline pushes you, motivation pulls you. For men over 60, the strongest motivation isn't six-pack abs, it's independence, energy, and presence. Ask yourself, do I want to walk with my grandchildren without getting winded? Do I want to wake up with energy, not fatigue? Do I want to keep my spark alive with my partner? When those answers are yes, suddenly the choice between fries and baked sweet potato isn't about rules, it's about living the life you want. Practical mindset tools. 1. Environment design. Keep ripe tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and cauliflower visible in your kitchen. Hide or remove chips, fries, and processed frozen meals. 2. Small wins. Don't try to change everything overnight. Swap one meal a day. Let success build momentum. 3. Anchor habits. Tie new habits to existing routines. Example, always steam a vegetable while your coffee brews. 4. Accountability. Share your journey with a friend, partner, or group. Post your meals, talk about your wins. 5. Celebrate non-scale victories. Better sleep, fewer bathroom trips, stronger energy, these are as important as lab numbers. The mindset shift. Instead of seeing this as a diet, see it as an upgrade. Not, I can't eat fries, but I choose food that keeps me energized. Not, I gave up eggplant, but I learned how to enjoy it in a way that doesn't harm me. When you flip the language, the brain no longer feels deprived, it feels empowered. Now that we've explored the psychology, it's time to tie everything together. In the next part, we'll create a final roadmap and life philosophy, a closing guide that summarizes all the lessons, so you leave with clarity, confidence, and a sense of possibility. Because food isn't just about years added to your life, it's about life added to your years.
Part 10, the closing roadmap and life philosophy. Looking back, moving forward. We've traveled a long journey together, from exposing the hidden traps in everyday vegetables to celebrating the heroes that support testosterone and vitality, to laying down a framework, a meal plan, and even the psychology of lasting change. And what have we learned? That food is never just food. It's chemistry, memory, identity, and power. It can drain your strength quietly, or rebuild it with every bite. The roadmap at a glance. If you remember nothing else, carry this compass with you. 1. Avoid the saboteurs. White potatoes, fried, baked, or mashed daily, comfort trap. Eggplant skins and seeds eaten frequently, purple deceiver. Green or fried tomatoes, green imposter. 2. Embrace the heroes. Sweet potatoes, bake, cool, reheat for resistant starch. Cauliflower, lightly steamed to release sulforaphane. Ripe red tomatoes, lycopene powerhouse. Boron-rich foods like avocado, nuts, and prunes. 3. Anchor in rituals. Sunday roasted vegetables, daily salad with ripe tomatoes, steamed cauliflower added to omelets. 4. Mindset over muscle. Replace, don't resist.
swap routines in your habit loop. Tie food to new memories and traditions. Focus on independence, energy, and presence, not restriction. Life philosophy from men over 60. Aging is inevitable. Decline is not. Every meal you eat is a message to your body, either slow down or stay strong. When you eat to protect testosterone, you're not chasing youth, you're reclaiming vitality. When you choose foods that ease your prostate and protect your circulation, you're not just adding years, you're adding better years. When you share these meals with your family, you're not just feeding yourself, you're shaping healthier traditions for generations. Food isn't punishment, it's power. The final image. Picture yourself a year from now. You wake up with steady energy, you sleep through the night without constant bathroom trips, you feel lighter, sharper, stronger. You enjoy meals that nourish your body and connect you with your family. And your doctor, surprised at your blood work, asks, "What changed?" You smile because the answer was simple. You stopped letting food drain your strength and started letting it build you. So let's make this a turning point. Not a temporary diet, not a fleeting resolution, but a decision today to eat with awareness, to cook with purpose, and to live with the vitality you deserve. Because, gentlemen, after 60, it's not about getting old, it's about getting bold. Stay strong, stay vibrant, stay you.